cold, not chilly, a very warm New York welcome to Reverend Charles Galbreth, Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum, and Imam Khalid Latif.
Good evening. My name is Khalid Latif. I'm the director of the Islamic Center of New York City and a proud member of the Muslim Democratic Club of New York. We are gathered at a time when too many people in our city and in our country are being told that they don't belong, when the language of our politics too often divides rather than unites, when people are made to feel invisible, not because of what they've done, but because of who they are. Like many of you, I am here tonight not just because my brother Zohran Mamdani is running, but because of what he is running for. We are here not because it is fashionable, not because it is convenient, but simply because it is right. We are here because the moral fiber of our democracy is being tested. We are here because we refuse to allow the forces of hatred, greed, and fear to have the last word. The vitriol and bigotry that has unsurprisingly and unfortunately spewed itself from commentators, politicians, and political opportunists is the same tired Islamophobic rhetoric that has plagued our nation for decades. They invoked 9/11, recycled anti-Muslim tropes, and warned that a Muslim in a position of power poses a threat to our security and our democracy. This isn't new, but it is still very dangerous. You have to understand that Islamophobia is not just hate, it's a strategy. What we are witnessing is a deliberate attempt to marginalize and dehumanize. It is used to cast Muslims as perpetual outsiders, incapable of leadership, unworthy of trust. When Zohran succeeds and the reaction from Andrew Cuomo is to question his loyalty to America, that reveals a deeper ailment, one where identity itself becomes suspect. To be Muslim in America is to know that your belonging is always being questioned. But we are still here, and we are not going anywhere. The same forces that target Muslims are also targeting immigrants, the working class, the homeless, black and brown people of all kinds. Really, anyone who comes from underserved and underprivileged backgrounds, especially those amongst them who dare to speak truth to power. Islamophobia does not exist in a vacuum. It is entangled with white supremacy, xenophobia, and anti-black racism. To me, anti-Muslim sentiment has always been a system of anti-blackness. To those peddling hatred in our political discourse, you should know that democracy thrives not on fear, but on radical empathy. It demands we trust one another, respect our differences, and elect leaders who reflect our collective identity, not just a narrow majority. And there is no doubt that those who believe in Zohran's leadership come from all walks of life. To everyone who is not a bigot, remember that we are stronger when we include and not exclude. Zohran's victory will not just be a political milestone. It is an invitation to dream bigger, to love braver, and to live up to our city's promise. We do not need to become what they fear in order to defeat them. We simply need to keep showing up with our hearts, our feet grounded, and our collective voice strong and unwavering. This is our city too, and we all belong here. We are here to say that justice is not just a slogan, it is a struggle. That love is not just a sentiment, it is a commitment. That every human being, no matter their faith, their color, their gender, their income, or their immigration status, has infinite value and unshakable dignity. That affordability is not just about rent checks and price tags. It's about whether ordinary people can live with stability, with joy, with hope. That a democracy that allows corporate greed to dictate who gets a home, who gets health care, who gets to dream, that is a democracy on life support. We may not have all the money, but we have a movement made up of the people. And when the people move, the ground beneath injustice begins to shake. When the people move, the walls built to divide us, they crumble. When the people move, the impossible becomes inevitable. To my brother Zohran Mamdani, keep showing them who we are by showing them who you are. We are with you every step of the way, and we know that your victory will not just be yours, but ours. It will belong to every family fighting to stay in their home, every worker demanding dignity, and every young person daring to dream of a fairer world. Because when you rise, Zohran, we all rise. When you speak truth to power, you remind us that the moral arc of the universe still bends towards justice, but only when we bend it together. So let's keep bending. Let's keep building. Let's keep believing. This is our city. This is our moment. And this movement is what New York City should look like.
This is the vision of New York City that we love. A Muslim, a Jew, and a Christian stand here supporting this campaign to take our city back. My name is Sharon Kleinbaum, and I'm a rabbi here in New York City who is dedicated to the vision of transforming this city into a place in which all of us live in peace and security and can afford to live in this city. In our Jewish story read this past Shabbat of Noah after the flood, God says to all of us, I set my rainbow in the clouds as a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Now it is your turn to make sure the earth is taken care of. That rainbow was the first covenant, a promise of life and diversity, a sign that creation itself is holy in all of our colors, a sign that it is up to us to create a future free of corruption and violence, which we're told caused God to flood the earth with the Mabul, with the flood itself. Our sages then taught in Pirkei Avot, in the Mishnah, that the rainbow was one of the last things that God created, Bein Hashmashot, in the tender moment between day and night, when light and darkness touch but do not erase each other. That's the spiritual hour New York City lives in all the time, between light and shadow, wealth and poverty, despair and hope. And it is in that in-between place that holiness is born. Centuries later, two Jewish sons of immigrants, Yip Harburg and Harold Arlen, dreamed another rainbow into being. There was no rainbow in the original Wizard of Oz. In the depths of the Great Depression, they wrote somewhere over the rainbow. From a place of despair and hopelessness, we can imagine the creativity of a rainbow with color and vision and creativity. A vision not of escape but of courage. A world in which people could live free and unafraid, where dreams and justice meet. That dream must be renewed in every generation. And we need leaders like Zohran Mamdani to help us keep imagination and creativity alive, to dream of the future and work hard to make it happen. Here in this city of mosques and churches, temples and synagogues, street corner altars, we are each of us called to make that rainbow real. We must make sure we are creating a city which feeds the hungry, houses the unhoused, welcomes the stranger and the immigrant, and protects every single child's right to dream. We must be the carriers of that message. We must make affordable this messy, creative city of ours. Now, I know that I don't agree with our leader, Zohran Mamdani, in everything that he says. I don't agree with anyone on everything. But we in this city must model what it looks like to hold differences, that we can debate and discuss, argue and disagree, and stay in relationship. But one thing I know for sure, that Muslims and Jews must work together for a shared future of all of us, where the humanity of Palestinians and Israelis have a future of shared security, freedom, dignity, and justice. This can only happen when we all are working together with love and respect. And on issues related to New York City, we completely agree. We dream of a city where Jews and Muslims respect and care for each other. Forcefully, as a rabbi, I reject all attacks of Islamophobia and hatred of Arabs or of Muslims. This is not my Judaism. This is not my God. Together, we must reject all these attacks of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. We need each other. We dream of a city where God's keshet, or rainbow, bathes all of us in light and justice and in glorious tapestries of differences. And we always pray to remember that joy itself is an act of spiritual and political resistance. As a rabbi, I am grateful to Zohran for his commitment to fight anti-Semitism, for his commitment to protect all houses of worship, and to take seriously the fear that many Jewish communities live with. We dream of a future, and we make it real every day with our passionate commitment rooted in faith, relationships across all kinds of differences, and the leadership of Zohran Mamdani to take all of us and our city into a new future. Thank you.
Good evening, New York. My name is Charles Galbreth, and I serve as a pastor in Brooklyn, New York. Is Brooklyn in the house? Without a doubt. I serve a congregation that for over 103 years has welcomed immigrants into its doors and into its community. The faces and the places they have come from has changed, but we realize they are constantly and consistently looking to dream again. We recognize that many of our folks have been pushed and priced out. Healthcare costs has many people feeling helpless. For far too long, their dreams have been deferred, depressed, discounted, and just simply dissed. But I believe that there is a season coming. A season of recovery. In our text, it speaks about a brother who was a dreamer. And I believe that there is another dreamer who has a vision for New York City, who can dream and actualize our way out of food insecurity, out of housing that's unaffordable, out of constantly being underneath a crisis and intimidation to our immigrants. I believe that there is a possibility that rests within our city, and it rests within our brother Zohran Mamdani. In my sacred text, there's a story and narrative of Jesus where he sees folks who are hungry. He takes what is there, a few loaves of bread and some fish and begins to break it and distribute it to people. It's interesting because the text says he broke it, blessed it, gave it to the folks, and everybody ate. I believe it's possible to have a city where everybody can eat. Whether you've been here for 2 years or 22 years, everybody can eat. Whether you ride the 5, the 2, the 1, or the A, everybody can eat. Whether you live in beautiful Brooklyn, the bustling Bronx, money-making Manhattan, Staten Island, or Queens, everybody can. Whether you come from here or from Haiti or from somewhere else, everybody can eat. Let's get together as one so that this entire city can be a place where